We need to get back to the basics and correct some untruths. We are being lied to. Surprise? No, that's not a surprise at all, right? We all know that people lie, especially politicians and some in the media. And that's what this episode is all about. Exposing the lie and putting forth some foundational truth. It's been said that if you repeat a lie often enough, it soon becomes truth. So let's get to exposing this lie.
And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing, history will record with a great...
I will not violate my oath of office. We are free individual citizens. We are Americans. Quiet on the set. It's go time. Every time I turn on the TV or read a newspaper, which is becoming less and less every day, I hear people, including politicians on the left and the right, calling our country a democracy. It has been happening for decades. I remember in the school that I went to in the 70s, being taught that the United States of America is a democracy and that majority rules. They say that the United States is a democracy. How many times have you heard it? Many times, I bet. Well, I would like to set the record straight. If you've read my book, American Cop, you already know where I'm going, right? I'm going to lay out for you the truth. Not just my word on it, but our founders as well. About our form of government, and most importantly, why it matters. So let's get started. The word democracy is found nowhere in our founding documents. Surprise. You can search our founding documents from beginning to end, top to bottom, and you will not find the word democracy or any reference to it anywhere. It is not in the Declaration of Independence. It is not in the Constitution. It is not in the Bill of Rights. Our founders did not speak highly of democracy. In fact, they spoke ill of it. They hated it. How do I know this? Because they said it themselves. I'll let their words speak for them. Here's what they had to say about democracy. Samuel Adams said, "Democracy never lasts long, and it soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There was never a democracy that did not commit suicide." Alexander Hamilton said, "We are a republican government. Real liberty is never found in despotism or in the extremes of democracy." James Madison said, "Democracies have ever been spectacles of turbulence and contention, have ever been found incompatible with personal security or the rights of property, and have in general been as short in their lives as they are violent in their deaths." Fisher Ames said, "Democracy in its best state is but the politics of bedlam. While kept chained, its thoughts are frantic. But when it breaks loose, it kills the keeper, fires the building, and perishes. There are, however, a few well-known people who have liked democracy." And here's what they had to say about it. Karl Marx, in the Communist Manifesto, said, "The first step in the revolution by the working class is to raise the proletariat to the position of ruling class, to win the battle of democracy." Communist leader Mikhail Gorbachev said, "According to Lenin, socialism and democracy are indivisible. The essence of perestroika lies in the fact that it unites socialism with democracy and revives the Leninist concept. We want more socialism and therefore more democracy." Communist Chinese leader Mao Zedong said, "Taken as a whole, the Chinese revolutionary movement, led by the Communist Party, embraces the two stages, the democratic and the socialist revolutions, which are essentially different revolutionary processes. And the second process can be carried through only after the first has been completed, unquote. Another thing to think about, when we say the Pledge of Allegiance, do we say to the democracy for which it stands? No, we don't. We say to the republic for which it stands. Well, that sounds great. Our founders spoke ill of democracy, and communist leaders spoke highly of it. But what does our founding document actually say about our form of government? Let's take a look, shall we? The Constitution in Article 4, Section 4, says that the United States shall guarantee to every state of this union a republican form of government. It doesn't say a democratic form of government. It doesn't say any other form of government. It clearly says a republican form of government. Again, this is Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. And don't just take my word for it. Look it up. So why does all of this matter? And why should you even care? Well, it matters because the Constitution matters. It is the rule book for our government. It tells our government what it can and cannot do. When it is followed, it restricts the powers of the government so that we are more free. The Constitution defines and limits the powers of the federal government and the state government. It outlines the duties, it outlines the responsibilities of each branch of our government: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative. In a republic, you have the rule of law, and everyone is protected equally under that law, the majority as well as the minority. In a democracy, the majority rules, and they can trample the rights of the minority. When the majority rules and you aren't in the majority, your rights don't matter. I prefer the republic that we were given by our founders, not the democracy that a lot of people say we are and are pushing us to be. Often the majority is wrong, but that's who rules in a democracy. Have you ever heard the expression, "Don't follow the crowd, they're usually going the wrong way"? My grandfather said that quite often. A lot of people are easily led in the wrong direction by the media, by political figures who may have bad intentions. There's many examples of that in the world's history. When the majority rules, the minority gets trampled. What about their rights? Shouldn't everyone be treated the same according to the law and not popular opinion? A republican form of government protects everyone because the law is the deciding factor, not the masses, not public opinion, which is easily swayed like the sand in a high wind, right? Democracy, on the other hand, does not take into consideration the minorities' rights. It is a step towards socialism, as I've already pointed out. We are seeing it on full display in our country right now. We need to stop calling our country a democracy and correct people when they do, especially people that we put into office. Calling our country a democracy shows ignorance to our heritage and the truth. We need these truths taught in every school across America. If they don't do it, then it must be done in the home. Every parent and grandparent, listen to this, needs to take on this responsibility for their family. Read the Constitution of the United States. Read the Constitution of the state that you live in. We have to hold our public servants to their oath of office, to uphold and defend the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson said, "In questions of power, then, let no more be heard of confidence in man, but bind him down from mischief by the chains of the Constitution," unquote. First, we have to know what those documents say, right? How can we know what we have lost or what we are about to lose if we don't read and know what we were given? The future of our republic and our freedoms enshrined in the words written by our founders depend on it. It depends on you. It depends on us. We have to stand up for our country or it will be lost forever. Now is the time. You are the person. You are one of many who are alive at this exact place and time in our nation's history for a reason. Remember the words of Edmund Burke. All that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We cannot just sit around and do nothing. If we do, we have lost. And I don't intend to be on the losing side in our nation's history. Do you? There have been far too many flag-draped coffins in our country's history for us to stand silent.